Hey everyone, this is Rachel, data expert here. Nice to see everyone again. Sorry it's taken me so long to, post another video. I got really sick for like 2.5, maybe even 3 weeks. It was like one of those crazy things where you go on vacation and everyone gets sick. My entire family got sick. So I could barely talk for like a good week. And I also yeah, it took a while. I still even have like a very slight cough. But anyway, glad to be back, glad to be feeling better, and hope everyone is happy, healthy, and safe out there. So, today I want to talk about creating a function in Python. This is going to be a really basic tutorial, but I want to go through it with you guys. I know there's a lot of people who, everyone's hearing about the hype of Python and, wanting to kind of dive into it deeper. So, let's do that just a little bit here. So, just to give you guys like a brief description, Python's a widely used general purpose, high level programming language. It was created by a guy named Guido van Rossum, which I'm not sure, I forgot where this guy is from, but his name is funky and not funky, but like different. So, I imagine he's probably from like Russia or something. But anyway, it was developed by Python Software Foundation, but he initially designed it. And it was kind of designed for the simplicity of the syntax and the fact that anyone could kind of pick it up and run with it. It doesn't take a lot of like computer science background, I feel like. And then on top of that, it's also really good for the fact that it's open source. So that means it's free. And most of the time, I mean, when you use it with certain technologies, the technologies aren't free, but the Python coding is. So it does come in handy for many purposes. So specifically today, I'll talk about functions. So when do we use functions? Functions are used in programming to bundle up a set of instructions that you want to initiate repeatedly. So, or it could be just that it's complex and that it's better being kept separate, right? So you have a big chunk of information tasks that you want to run. Maybe it's being repeated. Maybe it's something that's really complex. So either way, it's better if you keep it into a separate chunk. Now, when I code, most of the time I'm writing function after function, and then at the end I'm just calling the main function, which runs all the functions, especially specifically in a certain order, but not necessarily. It depends on the use case, of course. But functions carry out specific tasks, and it's really helpful to have everything in pieces. So there's 3 types of functions. I'm not going to go over all of them. I'm only going to go over one type and just give you kind of a basic idea of how to create one. So there's 3 types of functions. There's built-in functions, which I'll show you that too. So essentially, I'll show you 2 out of the 3 because the built-in ones are the basic ones. Print, minimum, maximum, help, those kind of functions. I should put a link in this as well to find where those like built-in ones are, just so that you have that for a reference. I will find one of those and put it in the thing. So then there's also user-defined functions, which is what I'm mostly going to be going over, and that's something that users create to help them out, whatever the situation may be. So I'm actually just going to show you a basic multiplication function. And then last but not least, anonymous functions, which are also called lambda functions, but I'm not really going to go over that. So with that being said, all right. So this is also under the impression that you have Python already installed on your computer. I highly suggest using Anaconda, and that will install Python into the computer, and Jupyter Notebook will also be there, and that you have Jupyter Notebook. So I can put the links. I have links in the other video that I made to show you where to install all of that. But I'm going to open up Jupyter Notebook now, and mine is completely empty. So first, I'm going to type a couple of those built-in ones that we were talking about. So I'm going to just type print and, basic hello world, which I'm actually pretty sure I have this in a different video, but in case you didn't see that video, I will add it here as well. You can add this plus sign to get another cell underneath it. You can also press the run button, which also would create, another one underneath that. Or you can control enter. I believe shift enter works too. Let me see. Shift enter does work, and it's like hitting the run button, it goes to the next cell, or you can control enter, which won't go to the next cell. If you notice, that's shift enter, this is control enter. So anyway, so that's the first basic one. I'm actually really just going to show you a couple basic. So the way to always identify a user-defined function that you would like to create is DEF. So now you can see it's in green now, and that's saying, oh, I recognize this, right? I recognize this as a function, and you can tell that the print also says that as well. So I'm going to call this multiply. And what happens is that's the name of the function. And now I'm going to create parentheses. Now I can choose to put inputs. So these would be the parameters for the function. And then afterwards, which I will put some in here, but I'm just showing you that you can also create functions that don't have parameters. But in this case, we will. So I will call this X and Y. And you have to put the colons at the end, and then when you press enter, it will have the indentation. And so Python is very specific about indentation. If you do not indent correctly, it will throw an error. So in this case, when you create a function, the next line and all the lines after should be indented. Anything that's in the function will be indented one tab over. There's a lot of talk about whether you use tabs or whether you use spaces. I believe it's 4 spaces. Don't quote me on that because I'd have to look that one up. But what I want to do is I would just print. I can print X times Y. That is the multiplication. And then I'm going to run this. And then I'm going to use multiply. Whoops. 3 and 4. And so I can do one of two things. I can put X equals 3 and Y equals 4, and then so we can press enter, and that gives us 12. Or, let me actually go up here, multiply 3 comma 4. Now, the difference is, though, now it doesn't matter here because multiplication is associative, so it really wouldn't matter. But if it did matter, which it would matter if you were dividing, right, and you put 4 comma 3, you'll get a different answer. Not in this case, but, oh, whoops, I'm so sorry. I totally put multiple, not multiply. So you see how you don't actually have to specify, but it is under the assumption that the first element or variable in here, or object, I guess, or value, sorry, I'm so sorry, value is the X value, and the second one is the Y value. So let's do an example of that with, I'm going to create divide, or let's do just basic subtract. X comma Y, we'll use the same names, and we have print X minus Y, right? So I'm going to run that, and then if I call subtract, and I say 3 comma 4, that's going to give me -1. But now, if I put subtract 4 comma 3, it's going to give me 1, right? Okay, so the other thing I want to point out about this is I'm going to call an, I'm going to create one more, and I'm going to say X and Y. But in this case, I am going to say return X plus Y, as opposed to print. The difference is that printing is literally printing a statement. Return is returning an object. So now when I run addition and I put 3 comma 4, it's going to give me 7, right? So, but I can also do this. Let's say Z equals addition 3 comma 4, right? That will then, if I print Z, if I enter Z, it will give me the 7 because now I've called an object. So if I do the same thing to multiply, I keep doing that, 3 comma 4, enter, z, enter. Now see, z is not anything. And here's why. Multiply does not return anything. It prints, so it still does what we want when I run this line of code. But do you notice that now z is not given the value of 12? Z does not have that value because I did not return. So if I return x times y, and I rerun this, right? And then I run this again, it will print still because I have a print statement in there, but now z will also have the value of 12. So I hope that makes more sense to you guys. So then the last thing I'll also point out is, let's say we create one more. We have x comma y, and we have, and so in this case, I want to set a default. And what a default is if I don't use, okay, so let's print x divided by y, enter. Now, if I don't put anything in there, it should give me, yep, 1 divided by 2. Because now it's going to say, okay, well, if nothing's input for x or y, then I will not know what to do. Or no, I'm sorry. 1 will be x and 2 will be y, no matter what. Now, if I just say y, right? Oh, yeah, that doesn't work. So, yeah, in this case, I want to do that. And there you go. And otherwise, we can put division 3 comma, no, let's do 6 comma 2. Right, 6 divided by 2. Okay, I think that's it. All right, well, thank you so much for watching this quick video. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a good night, or day, or afternoon, whichever is going on in your life. Bye.